You're right on time for Hope TV News Watch on this first day of April 2024. A very good evening to you and welcome to the broadcast. My name is Kimani. Kenyans seeking medical attention at public health facilities will experience more pain as clinical officers join doctors' strike following the announcement by the Kenya Union of Clinical Officer KUCO. Through a statement stated that clinical officers are set to begin their nationwide strike on the 1st of April. The union stated that the protest was prompted by the government's neglect in addressing critical issues affecting them. Nelias Wanjiru begins our bulletin with the following report.
As the Easter season comes to a close, patients across the country have woken up to yet another twist in the already complicated situation in the health sector as the Kenya Union of Clinical Officers officially began their strike and doctors entered day 19 of the nationwide strike. The union issued a notice to the government on March 15 to respond to their grievances by Sunday 31st March, which until now has borne no fruits. They also noted that they had exhausted all the legal mechanism to address the matter and were hence left with no option other than downing their tools.
Kama chama tumeweza kuungana, tukaweza kuitana, tukasema hatuwezi kuwa tutavumilia shida ambazo pia zinaweza kusababisha wagonjwa wetu wale ambao wanahitaji huduma zetu kwenda wasipate huduma zile za afya ambazo zinahitajika. Basi tuko hapa kutamka kwamba tutaenda kwenye mgomo siku 7 zijazo iwapo hawatakuwa wamehakikisha kwamba wametii sheria order ile ambayo ilitolewa na court, na tuweze kuhakikisha kwamba tumesign CBA. La pili, tumesema kwamba wale ambao ni wafuasi wetu hawawezi kupata huduma ya afya kwa sasa kwa sababu ile NHF haifanyi kazi. Na kama hivyo ndivyo itakuwa idhini ama itakuwa kama ndiyo sheria, basi sisi tumesema kwamba hiyo itachangia sisi twende kwenye mgomo kwa sababu hatuna fedha zingine ambazo tumeweza kuziwekeza kando na zile ambazo tunalipa katika NHF.
They insist on the urgent confirmation of more than 20,000 qualified officers as permanent staff with pension benefits to tackle the current staff shortages. The union is calling for the Minister of Health to strictly follow the 2020 approved salaries and remuneration establishment guidelines set by the PSC, disregarding any disruptive advisory from SRC that could jeopardize sector stability. KUCO is also pressing for the conclusion of the prolonged negotiation on CBA, which has been a standstill since 2017. The officials also emphasized their intention to protest against the systematic flagrant disregard of the PSC HR manuals by both the Minister of Health and county governments. This disregard, according to the union, has led to the stagnation of the career progression for the majority of medical practitioners since devolution. Issues of permanent and pensionable employment data to staff hired for universal healthcare UHC and the COVID-19 response. Short-term and non-renewable contracts among other demands. At a press conference in Nairobi, KUCO National Chairman Peterson Wachira said that the strike is a response to the inaction of the Ministry of Health and Council of Governors in addressing their grievances despite negotiation dragging on for years. Wachira added that clinic officers have been forced to resort to industrial action after years of unresolved negotiation with the government over a new collective bargaining agreement CBA and other critical issues that have hindered the delivery of quality healthcare services.
It's unfortunate that there is nothing that we raised in the petition has been addressed in the last 14 days. And therefore, last week we engaged our members across the country, and last evening the National Advisory Council of the Union made a decision that we are calling for a strike and that we have to issue a 7-day strike. The strike to commence on Monday, that is after the midnight of Sunday. The most unfortunate thing about this is that we have given the government enough time. We have tried diplomacy. We have followed the law. We have gone to the Ministry of Labor. We did conciliation. It failed because the government was not committed.
KUCO says it has also followed all legal mechanisms, including issuing strike notices and unsuccessful coalition attempts, leaving them no option but to strike. Reporting for Hope TV News Watch, my name is Nelias Wanjiru.
Thank you so much, Nelias, for that report. Now, the Kenya Meteorological Department has issued a 7-day heavy rainfall warning across most parts of the country beginning tomorrow. A forecast issued today by the weatherman shows that heavy downpours are expected in the Central Highlands, Western Kenya, Rift Valley, Southeast Lowlands, Coast, Northeast and Northwest regions between tomorrow and Monday next week. The Meteorological Department also urged Kenyans to prepare for potential flooding in the regions. Meanwhile, high temperatures are expected across Turkana, Marsabit, Mandera, Wajir, Isiolo, Garissa, Tana River, Lamu, Kilifi, Mombasa and Kwale counties. The high average daytime temperatures will exceed 30 degrees Celsius over the next 7 days. Moving on swiftly, and many young girls in West Pokot County are grappling with lack of sanitary towels and forced to drop out of school, while others get absent from school due to a lack of resources to buy sanitary pads. It has been established that girls and women in pastoral areas cannot manage their periods safely or with dignity, leading to stigma. Members of Parliament from West Pokot County now want Gender Cabinet Secretary Aisha Jumwa to release the sanitary towels meant for learners after President William Ruto gave out funds to 47 women representatives in the country.
Tunapanga naye. Na si shule hii peke yake. Kwa hivyo nataka nieleze waziri. Kwa sababu wakati mwingi anazungumza juu ya sanitary towels. Mara wanasema kwamba wale women reps walianza kupanga namna ya kusupply, lakini ikakwama mahali. Ni mdomo tupure watu kusema kuna hii vitu na hakuna. Kama hapa sasa ile blanketi imezeeka ndio watu nararua na mtoto anatumia hiyo, kwa sababu hakuna. Mpaka sasa sangine tuende mfuko na kuanza kurokota kidogo na kutuma, ndio hata wajue namna ya kufaa. Najua vile ni hata wajui, lakini sasa wameanza kupick.
Baadhi ya ile kazi ninayo kwa ofisi yangu ni kupeana sodo kwa wasichana wetu. Mwaka jana tulienda kwa president wetu tukaomba kwamba aweze kutupatia pesa ili tununue, ili mama kaunti zote, kaunti 47 tuweze kununua zetu na tupelekee wasichana wetu. President wetu, na namshukuru, aliweza kukubali na alitupatia pesa ya kununua hizo sodo. Maajabu ni kwamba tuko na CS wetu wa gender Aisha Jumwa. Aisha Jumwa amekalia hiyo tenders ama hizo pesa hadi wakati huu mwaka 2 tumemaliza tukiwa ofisi. Wasichana wetu wamekosa hizo sodo.
Now, Christians, churches and even Christian organizations across the world have been using different ways to spread the gospel of Jesus Christ with the aim to persuade others to embrace the message of salvation. One Christian non-profit organization known as the Bucket Ministry is using bucket filters as a tool to share God's love through the gift of providing under-resourced communities from different countries around the world, including Kenya, with clean, safe drinking water. Our reporter Alice Diana, who got an opportunity to interact with the Bucket Ministry here in Kenya, tells us how it works and its impact to the society.
According to Bucket Ministry, a Christian non-profit organization, clean water without the gospel only delays the inevitable. The ministry's mission includes working alongside domestic and international mission groups, churches and other organizations to use clean water filtration as a tool for sharing the gospel of Jesus Christ. Through distributing bucket filters to under-resourced communities around the world, including here in Kenya, with clean, safe drinking water, the Bucket Ministry has been using this as an opportunity to share their faith with as many people that receive the filters, who are very open to hearing about the living water that only comes from a relationship with Jesus Christ.
We don't discriminate anyone. We don't discriminate based on religion. Our goal is to try and bring everyone to Christ. That's our goal. But sometimes you meet people who are Muslim, despite the fact we want them to go to Christ, we'll not deny them the bucket just because they are from a different religion. So despite the fact our hopes are that they will join Christ and go to heaven, but we're still not going to deny them the gift of clean water.
Founded in 2012, the Bucket Ministry began its mission here in Kenya in 2018 in Kibera slums with the goal of improving the health and well-being of residents by ensuring access to safe drinking water and sharing the gospel of Jesus Christ. Years later, the Bucket Ministry has expanded its mission to other parts of the country, including Machakos County and in the Maasai land.
Actually, we are all over Kenya. We are also in Shampole, in rural place, that's in around the Maasai land. We are also in different places, but basically we are targeting many slums because we understand that's where there's the need of water. Because sometimes these waters that we get in the slums, they may end up mixing with sewages and other things. So we see there's a big need of water issues in the slums. So that's why we're basically targeting slum.
In Machakos County, 2,000 families have so far benefited and received the bucket filters, with the Bucket Ministry aiming to gift more families. I attended one of the bucket filters distribution exercises that took place at Champions of Christ Church International in Sophia Village at the River area in Machakos County in the month of March 2024. On this day, 35 residents who were scheduled to collect bucket filters turned up ready to receive the gift.
First, we identify slums, people, places where there is need of water and they are drinking from contaminated water sources. So we identify that need of water issues in that area. Then after that, once we are done the assessment and everything and the budgeting is done, now when it's the day of distribution whereby they're coming to collect the buckets, we go per house, we divide them into different zones. So let's say today we are dealing with Sophia, so we'll count 200 houses from one zone. So we give them the tickets, then that ticket is a surety that they are scheduled to come and collect the bucket. Let's say if it's Friday, so that Friday, like today, they come and show us the ticket, then we will be able to give them the buckets. Yeah, because sometimes in slums when you do have a systematic way, there are people who can join any time, and that affects the budgeting, and also some people might end up not getting the gift that we're giving them. On a distribution day, what happens is people come assemble here. The first thing is to show them, we call it filter functionality, whereby we teach them on how to use the filter. You can't give somebody something that they don't know how to use. So the first thing is to show them, just to illustrate how the filter works and what they're required to do. Then we have M-wash, whereby we teach them on how to wash their hands. Basically, it's just sanitation to show them what they're required to do, because there are different ways of washing hands. So the good thing, the Bucket Ministry is vast in that field. So we show them how to use to wash their hands. Then later on, there's a segment whereby we now preach the word. That's why we use tools like Jesus Film to try and bring people close to Christ.
Lakini Yesu bado anaishi leo. Ndiye mtu wa kipekee aliyepata kuishi. Kuzaliwa kwake kulikuwa kwa kipekee. Biblia inatueleza kwamba alizaliwa na Bikira Maria.
After watching the Jesus film, a short sermon is preached, and thereafter, those who are yet to receive Jesus Christ as their personal savior are encouraged to do so.
Biblia hapa imejawa nini? Dhambi. Tunafanya mambo mazuri, tunasaidia watu, tuko na elimu, lakini bado tumerudia tu katika dhambi. Kwa hivyo haya maji sio safi. Maisha yangu yalikuwa kama haya maji kabla nitambue Kristo Yesu. Biblia inasema namna gani? Utakapomkiri Yesu kwa kinywa chako kuwa ni Bwana na kuamini moyoni mwako kwa Mungu alifua katika wafu, wokovu utakuwa umepata.
After being trained on how to use the bucket filters, an encouragement is shared to all about the living waters that only a relationship with Jesus Christ can provide. The recipients then proceed to receive their buckets where their data is collected.
Their data is collected, there's an app that we use to ensure that when we're going to do the follow-up, there's a systematic way of reaching these people. Their number is recorded and also a picture is taken. So the pictures basically is not going to, like people say, sell it. It's just to show accountability that this bucket was scheduled to go to Sophia slums, at the river slums, and it reached the intended person.
Leo tumefunzwa kuhusu Mungu. Mungu alikuja huku kwa dunia kufia sins zetu. Alikuja kwa dunia kufia sins zetu. alituokoa.
The Bucket Ministry conducts 3 follow-ups in a period of 1 month and a half to the homes of those who have received the bucket filters. This is to ensure they are using the buckets as instructed, as well as conduct discipleship lessons in their homes.
Tumekuja kukutembelea kwa mara ya pili. Na kutembea kwetu siku ya leo ni kuangalia venye ndio inafanya kazi na kama filter ni block ama haija block. Na mara ya tatu tena uhusiano wetu ambao tulikuwa tumeanza na kuconfirm so far mahali ambao umefika.
Na Pastor Ndoni katuambia kwamba asiyekuwa mwenye dhambi alifanywa kwa mwenye dhambi, ndiposa nini? Ndiposa sisi tupate haki katika Mungu. So kupata haki inamaanisha kwamba sisi tumefanyika kwa wana wa Mungu. Tunapofanyika kuwa wana, tuna uwezo wa kuomba chochote kile ambacho tunahitaji kwa nani? Kwa Mungu.
Wakati mmoja nilitembelewa na wageni wakanikumbiria juu ya ndoo, na nikaondoka nikaenda mahali walikoniita, tukaenda nikapokea hiyo mradi ya ndoo. Walinipata kama niko nishahubiriwa neno, nishaokoka, lakini ni vizuri wamenitia motisha ya kuendelea kuhubiri neno la Mungu.
Bendeta Dinda ni mmoja wa wale ambao hawajanufaika tu na kuweza kupata maji safi ya kunywa na matumizi ya nyumbani, bali pia maisha yake ya kiroho yameweza kukuzwa.
According to John Gikonyo, a resident pastor in Athi River working with the Bucket Ministry, 40% of beneficiaries in Athi River have given their lives to Christ.
We have seen the tremendous hand of God in the community, because as we do the follow-ups, we also invite them to churches. And as the Bucket Ministry, we are not a church. So we collaborate with the churches and seek pastors, reminding them we have done our part as missionaries, but we are releasing these people, the new converts, into your churches. Is that we are able to begin home fellowships. Home fellowships is helping us on reaching more.
Bishop Dr. Agnes Muli from Champions of Christ Church International, one of the churches that have partnered with the Bucket Ministry, says the ministry has greatly impacted the society as they have witnessed tremendous change and increase in the church.
Can you imagine, it is a very powerful kind of a tool to spread the gospel, because this kind of a gospel, like you call people even in a crusade and you have nothing to offer, the economy, at the times we are living, the economy is so much affected, and the people are, in dire need. They have nothing to eat. They have nothing, to show. Even out of that, God, you are telling them He can provide. But with the Bucket Ministry, it also connects you. You have an access to their house. Without this powerful tool, I want to tell you, the times we are living, you cannot enter into somebody's house. But with the Bucket Ministry, you become partners, and now you tend to have an access to their houses. And when you are making a follow-up, whether they know how to use it, that is why you are doing a follow-up, and many souls are getting reached, and they are changing in a very mighty way.
Naomba Yesu unisamehe makosa yote na dhambi. Leo hii nimefungua moyo wangu.
For Hope TV News Watch from Sophia Village in Athi River, Machakos County, I'm Alice Diana.
And to some sports in action now, SS Assad qualified for the FKF Cup quarterfinals by defeating Denmark 5-4 in post-match penalties at the Ukunda grounds. Meanwhile, at the Mamboleo Stadium, AFC Leopards emerged victorious through KC Odhiambo's lone goal In the 57th minute, in the early kick-off game, Division 1 Zone B side Compel defeated FKF National Super League side Mara Sugar 2-0. Kariobangi Sharks staged a comeback to secure a 2-1 victory over Ulinzi Stars at the Police Sacco Stadium. The upcoming fixtures feature the FKF Cup quarterfinals, are scheduled to take place on the 27th and the 28th of April 2024.
Imekuwa mechi ngumu jinsi tulivyotarajia. Lakini nahisi kwamba ni mechi ambayo tulikuwa na uwezo mkubwa na nafasi kubwa pia vile vile ya kuweza kupata ushindi. Tumetengeza nafasi si haba, lakini vile vile ule ugonjwa tu ambao umekuwa ukitusumbua wa kuweza labda kuzitumia nafasi ambazo tunatengeza kwa mechi hivi leo pia umeonekana kwa vile tujaweza kutumia nafasi nyingi ambazo tumetengeza. Dakika ya mwisho basi utepetevu kidogo, tumelaza damu katika dakika mbaya kwa mechi, tukapatia nafasi ya kupata lile goli na basi ikawa ni vigumu sana kuweza kurejea kwa mechi.
Labda niseme kwa maana tumefunga dakika 7 za mwisho na pia mpira ukaongezwa dakika zingine 8. Sasa tumekuwa na dakika kama 15 za mchezo. Inadhihirisha labda kuna kitu ambacho tumeanza kufanya kwa uwezo ambao unaonekana.
After the previous match Gor Mahia nilipredict nikasema the next match itakuwa ngumu zaidi because tunajuana, we are from the same locality, we actually from the same table, we eat together. So nilikuwa nimepredict kwa ngoma itakuwa ngumu, and as seen we got a first win to lead for the first I think 15 minutes tuka hold, lakini experience was a real factor in this match.
And with that, we come to the end of our news tonight, but we still have much more after the break. And still in the Easter mood, I'll be interviewing Pastor Joel Wright and Pastor Obadiah Alovisia as we get to understand why the African connection in the Bible is not appreciated as it should. It's a conversation that you do not want to miss immediately after this short break. But now, on behalf of the whole team that made this bulletin a success, I would like to wish you a blessed night as you enjoy the rest of our programming. My name is Kimani, and my co-presenter on the sign language interpretation tonight has been Boniface Moredi.